folks, Replay Frank. Today I've got a video for you guys about a cheap forklift that I bought. It's a bit of a mystery. You get to see whether or not I get it running or not. And then I'm going to play another Blue Oyster Cult song, Hot Rails to Hell. Now my shout out tonight goes to Chuck E 2009. Now this fellow's from Texas, and he had about 1,600 videos on his channel, and they're all about welding, fabricating, repairing farm equipment, tools and equipment reviews, and various other aspects of what he does. And I believe this fellow had some type of issue where he ended up getting all of his videos demonetized, and he came back on shortly after that and he made a few more videos, and then he just seems to have disappeared. I can't find his channel on YouTube anymore, but I wanted to give him a shout out anyways because I really did like his videos. I mean, he's a smart guy. He tells the truth about everything he does, and he was a really fun guy to watch. And it's too bad that that stuff happened to him, but anyways, if you guys remember Chuck E 2009, let's try and keep his memory alive. Alright, let's get going. Starting a new project today. Here's my $200 forklift. It's a Mitsubishi Japanese machine. I like Japanese equipment. It's usually pretty decent. Now, I haven't done anything with this. We rolled it off the truck into the shop yesterday. And the story behind it is that it was in a transmission shop, and all they did with it was push non-running vehicles in and out of the shop and move transmissions and barrelfuls of transmission fluid around with it for most of its life. But it got harder and harder to start. So they eventually just stopped using it because it was too much trouble. So we're gonna check into it now and see what's going on. See if I can open the hood with one hand. Ugh. There we go. Almost there. All right. Have a look at the engine. Neptune, cool. Mitsubishi. It's got an electric fuel pump. Somebody's added. Battery's missing. Here's the fuel tank. I'm going to smell the cap, see how old the gas is. Not too bad. Fairly recent. Now what else? Well, let's see what else. Okay, on the dash, see there's an hour meter on this thing. How many hours are on it? Fuel gauge. Keys there. Oldsmobile Cutlass with ABS. Oh, look at that. Oil change, January 06, 15 years ago. Isn't that nice? Okay, let's take a look at the other side. Well, here's the hydraulic tank, and the cap is cracked. Means we're going to be replacing all the hydraulic oil because it's probably full of water. Yeah, look at all the dampness on the inside of that cap. So that's the first thing we're going to have to do, is drain all the fluids. They also said these hydraulic cylinders that tilt the mast used to leak pretty bad, so I'm going to have to get them rebuilt. Sorry about the bad lighting. Carriage all looks in good shape. The lift cylinder is in reasonably good shape. Oh, here's an ID plate. I don't know if you can read that or not. The top one's the model number, 3000, that's the capacity, 3,000 pounds. 1350, I don't know what that is, and 11240, that's probably the serial number. Alrighty. So I'm going to do a few things to this and see if I can get it ready to start. I'll clean the distributor cap and the points and check what the inside of the carb looks like, and then I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, check out this carburetor. It doesn't look too bad. but the throttle linkage is pretty bad. I mean, if you all push the pedal, you can see how stiff it is. It's going up, but it won't come back down. So it's really dry. And then this little rod here operates the accelerator pump. I don't think that's moving enough to work that. So we got some problems with the linkage here. Let me check the throttle shaft to see how tight it is. Get a hold of it here. It's got about probably 30 thou of play, which isn't great, but I can probably just put grease on it and it'll be adequate for a yard forklift. Idle jet screw is not seized, that's good. Now let's look at the oil. Come on. It's got lots of oil in it. I'm going to smell it here. It smells okay. Not much gas leaking through. So that's alright. I'm not going to be able to get that back in that hole right now, holding on to the camera. Now let's take a look at the distributor cap. Took the distributor off. Look at the inside of the cap. Wish I had some better lighting here, but anyways, they got corrosion on them, so I use a screwdriver and I clean the corrosion off the points in there. Here's the rotor. You can see that's pretty beat up looking. So all I do with that is I just go on a rusty piece of metal. Go like that. Shines it all up. That should be good. Now you got to examine this, make sure it's not cracked. Because if it has a crack, that'll maybe trap moisture and ground the spark out. Another thing you always check with forklifts is that this shaft, the bearing, the bushings, so that the shaft turns on often get loose. And then if it does that, your point gap's going to be all over the place. This one feels tight, so that's good. Okay, to clean the points, I just take like a piece of cardboard from a cigarette package or whatever. I don't smoke, but this is a business card. And I just slip it down in there in between the points. Wish I had some better lighting in here for you guys, but that's life. And you just slip this down in between the points, and then you move it back and forth in between the points to wipe any oil off. See, it's in there now. You just go like this, because they always get oily residue collects on the points when machines sit for a while, especially if that bushing's bad. Then the blow-by will come up through that bushing, contaminate your points, and you'll have to clean this every time you start it if it sits for more than a week. Where's the end of this? See, I got quite a bit of stuff off there. That should get it going, and then I'll put this back together and I'll put a test light on it and we'll see if we got any spark. Okay, we got the spark plugs out. See what those look like. Quite a bit of, not too bad, it's got some oil on there. Bring it out in the light. Where's that? There we go. So I'm just going to clean them up. I got this little wire brush here, works good for that. The motor hasn't started in a long time, so I'm going to spray some lubricant inside the cylinders, and then I'll spin it over with the starter for a bit just to make sure it's clean. I already turned it by the fan. It turns easy, nothing's binding. This is a zoom spout oiler. See that little tube, you can slide that in and out however long you need it to be. I just leave it out. But my friend, my first job after high school was working on appliances with my friend's dad, and he used to buy these, and because to lubricate all the parts on the appliances where you couldn't reach. And it works great. You can just slip it right into the spark plug hole,
I've got automatic transmission fluid in here, and you just squeeze it. It gets lots of oil in there so that the rings don't run dry the first time you start it. I was walking around here and I went, oh shit, the radiator's leaking. But it's not, it's just the water running out of the seat because it's been outside in the rain for so long. Or maybe it was my goats pissing on the floor. Okay, got a battery hooked up to it now, and I squirted some oil in the cylinder. I had to mess around with the wires. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't turning over, but apparently the start position in the key is shot. So you have to turn the key on, and they put this button on, so let's see what happens. Alright, I'm happy with that. She rolls over good. Spread that oil around inside. So now I'll put the spark plugs and the distributor and stuff back on, and I'll squirt a bit of gas in it and we'll see if she'll fire. Okay, she's back together. Got a can full of gas here. I'm going to try and fill up the bowl on the carb. Got to dribble it down these vent stacks to fill the bowl. A little bit in the throat for some prime there. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm going to turn the key on. The key is on. Not so good. Okay, let's see if we got spark. We'll grab my test light here. See if we got spark. Put this side, the ground on the negative side of the battery, or any ground. You can put it on the engine block if you want. Now this side, you have to put it on this side of the coil. Okay, it's got power to the coil. You can see that. Well, the thing's on all the time, so that's not necessarily a good sign. So I'll try and set this up so you guys can see this flash when I turn it over. So I messed up something here. Alright, okay, the key's still on. See it's flashing, so that means the points are opening and closing. But it should go out though. Oh, it's out now. Okay, so that means the points were just closed while it was. Let's try it now. Yeah, alright, I'm happy with that. That means we got spark. If this flashes when you touch this to the negative side of the coil, then it tells you that the points are clean enough that it's flashing on and off. And I got it all oiled up, so need a little bit more throttle maybe. The throttle's so sticky I can just put it anywhere I want and it'll stay. I don't know about trying to get the choke to stay closed or not. I think this battery's just low. I'm probably going to have to charge this battery and come back with a charged battery. Okay, while we're waiting for the battery to charge, let's dip the tank. Water on that. You can see in there or not really. Okay, got this rod. Let's see. Got for oil in this. Yeah, it goes all the way down to the bottom. Alright, lots of oil in there. It looks like water on the bottom. I can tell by the way it's dripping. Yeah, there's water in there for sure. Okay, let's dip the fuel tank. See what that looks like. Oops. See water on the end dripping off of that? Yeah, there's probably some water in there. More water in the hydraulic though. This cap wasn't damaged. This gas actually doesn't smell that bad. I disconnected the fuel pump and I was just dribbling gas down the carb, so as soon as this battery charges, we'll try it again.
Swimming in sweat, I rumble above and below. Holy cop, don't you know? The heat's on alright. The hot summer day doesn't quit for the night. 1277 Express to heaven, speeding along like dynamite. 1277 Express to heaven, rolling the steel like a dog fight. You got me in your spell, trying to leave, but you know darn well the heat from below can burn your eyes out. Blacking out eyes, scratched on the wall, stoned out looks from the crowd, the king will not know. On the wall it was said, the flashing his cars when he sprayed it red. Club 77 Express to heaven, speeding along like dynamite. 1277 Express to heaven, rumble the steel like a dog fight. You got me in your spell, trying to leave, but you know darn well the heat from below can burn your eyes out. Express to 1277 Express to 77 Express to heaven, speeding along like dynamite. 1277 Express to heaven, swamble the steel like a dog fight. And you got me in your spell, trying to leave, but you know darn well the heat from below can burn. Yeah, burn your eyes out. Your eyes out! Hot rails to hell. Well, there we have it, guys. Hot Rails to Hell by Blue Oyster Cult. This video should have been up last week. My apologies, but we had some tragedy on the farm here, and I'm going to explain that on the farm video because I know you guys came to see a forklift. So thanks, guys. I appreciate you joining me this week, and we'll see you all hopefully next week. Take care.